Ecumenism as a geopolitical tool and a wholly new religion. Explaining the antipathy many have for apologetics and why this is happening, Father Raphael Barberg calls out apologists. A Gorch priest recently told a convert that his greatest fear for orthodoxy was the work I do. His reasoning was literally that it undermines the ecumenist project and union with Rome. Understand that the lame digs at me about being mean are really about the bigger game of reunion with Rome in 2025. It's hard to believe things are this inverted, but here we are. As usual, the ecumenist must of necessity *hate apologists, because the existence of the apologist means ecumenism is false. The delusion is so strong that when atheists, Muslims, Protestants convert en masse, they must work to stop people converting them, because conversion means ecumenism is itself a false religion. By the way, the liturgy itself refutes them, because traditionally converts must denounce their prior heresies and delusions. Soon after, another priest I was not familiar with online publicly announced that apologists are somehow inherently a problem and should be avoided, as well as telling a uniate that there is no need to convert to orthodoxy, because the notion there is one true church is a left-brain error. Of course, it didn't occur to him apparently that Christ assumed a fully human mind, as was declared in the ecumenical anathemas against Apollinarianism, which would mean he also possessed a left brain. We will leave out Christology. Father Raphael Barberg announced that apologists are antithetical to Christ, and that true Christianity is apparently indifferentism. When many were concerned, as they should be, with these heterodox comments, the reply from Father Barberg was predictable. Look how mean J. Dyer is. In other words, the typical deflection away from the serious issues of ecumenism and indifferentism, but how morally inferior anyone who gave pushback was. Father Raphael is, as I understand, close to Fardamic and Ancient Faith Radio, which almost 6 years ago now was promoting outright leftist causes, which resulted in Fardamic seeking to have me run off from any Antiochian church. This kerfuffle died down, but clergy angry with what I do continues on as the divides in the Orthodox world become clearer and clearer. The academic and foundation-connected circles within Orthodoxy are making their desires and positions manifest, while actually Orthodox people are likewise sifted and the dividing lines are drawn. Many of these figures are openly and publicly telling uniates and Roman Catholics not to convert because they ultimately want union with Rome. In fact, the EP has openly celebrated a liturgy in the Vatican with Francis's approval as an open global sign of this coming false union, the new false union of Florence. The real union, however, amongst these heterodox is the various list of heresies and potential heresies these groups all foster and promote, almost in unison. This means the new ecumenist world religion that is emerging will have its new ethics. These ethics and dogmas are forming as follows. The Russian Church and its satellites are evil, and Putin is a new Hitler. Women should be allowed to be deaconesses on a mass scale, as well as eventually female priests. Women need to actually be in charge of the churches and jurisdictions. The Roman Catholic Church is basically the same as the Orthodox, and Pope Francis and Patriarch Bartholomew are fostering a genuine union. There is no such thing as a heresy of ecumenism. Orthodox sexual morals need to evolve and progress. Apologetics is an outdated and outmoded approach based on ancient and medieval notions of objective truth, and that the divine is in any way rational. Religion is primarily an emotional and existential phenomena that supersedes any dogmas. The new ethic is focused on environmentalism, racism, patriarchal oppression, and critical theory, not the virtues and vices. All forms of self-defense, warfare, and capital punishment are inherently immoral and anti-orthodox. Evolution and pacifism are actually viewed as orthodox dogmas. The Bible does not relate actual historical events or historical truths, but a primitive expression of the ancient Near Eastern worldview that should be read through the lens of German higher critics. There are no NGOs and foundations that donate to orthodoxy and seek to influence it, and when they do, they are beloved and altruistic. There are no conspiracies, except now defunct Russian collusion theories, and no geopolitical push for globalization. And when there is, it's a good thing. The new ecumenist religion will also have its own new saints and houses of worship. For example, most ecumenist Orthodox priests will often champion John Paul II and Mother Teresa as models for Orthodox piety. This is all mistaken, as the presuppositions for Orthodox sainthood are the healing remedies the Orthodox Church and faith alone possesses, not the heterodox parachurches. In fact, Fear Hears has released a new book dealing with this topic from an Orthodox perspective, showing the very reception of converts in the liturgy assumes this dogma by the demand they renounce their prior delusions. All of this troublesome dogma and tiresome ethical norms are part of the old religion. The new religion has new dogmas, which are primarily centered around negations of orthodox doctrine. Not being dogmatic, not being a creationist, not doing apologetics, and seeking to convert the heterodox, not seeking to save atheists and Muslims from their delusions, and not opposing papism. In fact, their actual spiritual head is already Pope Francis, so one wonders what is keeping these people from simply going to Rome already. Perhaps they think a reunion will make tithing all the more bountiful, but the reality is people want actual orthodoxy and often sacrifice a lot to convert. What a shame and disgrace to these people and the martyrs to then be told by orthodox priests that orthodoxy isn't necessary and anyone converting people is a troublemaker and divisive. Of course, none of these people seem to recall that Jesus and St. Paul regularly debated and engaged in apologetical engagements. And he, Paul, went into the synagogue and spake boldly for the space of 3 months, disputing and persuading the things concerning the kingdom of God. Acts 19:8. For he, Paul, vigorously refuted the Jews publicly, showing from the scriptures that Jesus is the Christ. Acts 18:28. Instead of debating these errors as St. Paul did, the papal head these people are seeking union with openly has built an Abu Dhabi faith center together with Jews and Muslims, erroneously giving the impression that together with Christians we all worship the same monotheistic God. This God, interestingly, is explicitly not the triune God. Recall my debate with Trent Horn, where Trent took his natural theology to its logical conclusion and admitted the Old Testament teaches Unitarianism. To many of these individuals, philosophically and masculinity-minded young men are bad. The church should be more feminine and passive, hence the error of pacifism which the OCA promotes, for example. Young masculine male converts means masculine seminarians who aren't effeminate and won't do and believe anything they are told by errant professors or clergy. The money foundation system that has its tentacles in orthodoxy openly wants effeminate ecumenical clerics who won't oppose error and moral changes, leading a smooth false union in 2025. This is precisely the way the Roman Catholic Church was changed throughout pre- and post-Vatican II era, by the intentional alliance with the U.S. government, intelligence agencies, NGOs, and foundations, which were able to eventually co-opt and completely subvert an already compromised institution, the Vatican. David Wemhoff has detailed this in perfect scholarly form in his classic text, and the same tools are now openly being used in the Orthodox world. But if you speak of this open fact, you are a mean, divisive man. Given Father Raphael Barberg was concerned to tattle on me to my priest, I would recommend emailing or calling the Antiochian Archdiocese and let them know you don't support priests telling Uniates they don't need to convert, and that one true church claims are modern left-brain activities. When Father Raphael claimed to clarify his post, it was rather damage control than any affirmation that this original comment is objectively false. Be polite, but feel free to contact them. This is an introduction post. In coming posts, I will continue to document these relationships, including more associations between foundations, think tanks, NGOs, churches, and the state, with an eye to highlighting how the world really works for the benefit of readers and viewers. This will also focus on all kinds of operations and strategies, not merely the orthodox or religious world. Keep in mind, we have also done many videos and interviews on this topic on my channels and outlets. For more on their related topics, you can purchase my books here.